Welcome back for another episode of Full Steam Ahead, where we discuss all things STEM, but with a twist of art. Our goal is to encourage the next generation of STEM leaders, bring our experiences to life, and encourage you to reach your full potential. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got another episode of Full Steam Ahead. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Today, I've got Allante, Shar, and a very special guest, my guy, MJ Bridges. I really appreciate you for joining us, man. Thank you for coming on, for gracing us with your presence. I'll just go ahead and, do a little bit of, do your bio, give a little bit of background about yourself, and then you can tell us anything that I don't catch in the bio. So MJ Bridges became young and debt-free fall 2019 after eliminating $96,942 of student loan. You need a round of applause just for that. And consumer debt in 5.5 years. I'll say that one more time. $96,942 of student loan and consumer debt in 5.5 years. MJ, a high school math teacher, found himself on the side of the interstate with no money for gas January of 2014. MJ claims this was one of the best experiences of his life because it was his come to Jesus moment with money. At the time, MJ was 25 years old, and just as many ambitious millennials, MJ moved to Atlanta to build a brand and career as an entrepreneur. However, debt was holding him back, obstructing his creative opportunities, and consequently placed him on the side of the interstate. So MJ aggressively eliminated all of his debt, his student loans, car note, and credit cards. Today, MJ is working to build a national movement and service for his brand, Young and Debt Free. MJ is a novice investor who enjoys distance running, social connecting, hosting parties and events, self-help media, and embracing the positive vibes of Atlanta. MJ's favorite book is The Happiness Advantage. So, with no further ado, please welcome MJ Bridges to Full Steam Ahead. I'm gonna add my own little music.
And I just want to add that MJ is one of my best friends. We went to college together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So many
Hey. Good stuff. So go ahead and just give us tell us where you're from, where you went to school, what you majored in, and things of that nature.
Oh, cool. First, thank you guys for having me, and kudos to you all for starting this platform. I'm happy that you contacted me, and I'm happy to be here with y'all. So happy freaking Saturday! It's Saturday right now. I'm MJ Bridges. I'm originally from Racine, Wisconsin. If you look at Lake Michigan on the bottom of it, where Chicago is, and you go up about 60 miles, you'll run into Racine. We're between Chicago and Milwaukee, right on the lake there. So we don't have an east side. We say we have a lakefront. And born and raised there. Yeah, there's no east side of the city. Just going to the lakefront. Born and raised there. And then I end up going to Alabama State University fall 2006. Man, we getting old. Fall 2006. And I graduated in 2010. I majored in mathematics. It's funny because Shar, I think she has some influence. And at first, I felt like it was like math ed, and it just went right to math. I majored in mathematics. On campus, very, very active on campus. Like, very active on campus all around. So, shout out to the Hornets. Shout out to all the HBCU grads out there and students.
Yes.
And then after that, I went to University of Indianapolis, where I got a master's in teaching through the Woodrow Wilson Indiana Teaching Fellowship Program. And then from there, came down to the A, and I've been in the A, it'll be 8 years this summer. And it's been a roller coaster, but it's been a good roller coaster. I've never had a boring or really dual time in Atlanta. And so that's why I'm very, very happy to say I love being here and what's going on in the city. And I'm just trying to, build my part and get my piece of the pie.
Nice. Okay, that's what's up. I'm actually from Atlanta, so I'm from the east side, right outside Atlanta, Lithonia to be exact. So
okay,
shout out to the east side.
Come on, DeKalb County. Come on, DeKalb County.
Yep, DeKalb County out here. Yep. What part of the city you live in?
I'm in Midtown, but I work for DeKalb County School. So right now.
Oh, that's what's up.
So I've been over to Lithonia High and Redan and Southwest DeKalb. all
Okay,
over.
I
I
went to
like just
MLK.
okay. Well, you went to MLK. I got an MLK
Mm-hmm.
story for you. When I first moved,
Okay.
when I was on the side of the road in my bio, I was on my way to
You
MLK. I taught
you
at
was on Snap
MLK
Finger? Wait, no,
for.
you was on 20 then.
I just got off 20 on Wesley Chapel.
Wesley Chapel.
That
Hmm.
Popeyes, oh, you made it right. The Popeyes across the street. I
Yeah.
was at that gas station crossing the Popeyes by that little rundown, little kind of like crack looking hotel thing right there. That's right
Mm-hmm.
there.
A
Yeah.
crack like a hotel.
Right there. Oh, he know what I'm talking about. Right off.
Yeah, right there before Snap Finger, Rainbow, and all that. It's
Yeah.
right across from JJ's.
Yes.
JJ's Fish and Chicken.
That's exactly where I was at. But I was at
Dang.
MLK for that year, and MLK was something different. Now I didn't come from an all black high school, so that
Mm-hmm.
was just eye opening to see just the high school was like 99% black. So it was cool
Yep.
because I just moved from Indianapolis where I did 2 years teaching there, and I'm like one of 7 black teachers in the school, and that whole experience. And then you get to MLK. My first teaching experience here in Atlanta is like everybody black. We ate fried chicken and green beans at math
Chill.
meetings. I was just quiet and shook the whole time. It was an interesting experience.
It's like going from I went to a
I
white
feel
high
it.
school and then going to an HBCU. It's like, oh, like
It's
okay,
just
True.
kept looking
Nice.
around.
yeah.
Cool. All right. We want to know a little bit more about you. So what got you into STEM?
Uh, You know what? I got to go back to high school. I mean, I was in like the college prep courses and things like that. I was like few of the black kids that was in it. But I feel like it landed in my lap at Alabama State. I was majoring first in communication because my goal was to be a DJ for 106 in Park. So I was like, so that was like my thing. Y'all used to party a lot, and it's still in me. So I was tutoring math, I think, on campus in the dorm, and I don't know. And then the connection to the community, I'm like, oh, I should teach, and then Alabama State is a teachers' college, so you will just find that the influence is kind of in the air, and so that's why I end up going to math ed. And then I feel like Sharnice and a few other people I met y'all later on.
We was
Later
talking in
freshman
the
year.
calf.
Yeah, it's like, who's this little
Yeah.
young girl right here? And so Shawnee's short with a mouth. Everybody just talk. And so she's like, no, you need to be majoring in math. I'm like, okay. So I switched to math though. There was more opportunities she was telling me about from different conferences and things like that. And so I end up going to math. And really, that's how I got into it. Hmm.
Oh, dope. So,
I was gonna say,
go
because
ahead.
really at Alabama State, when you're an EDU major, you basically a double major. You major in education and whatever field. So I was like, you might as well just
Yeah.
major in math, graduate earlier, and you can get emergency certified because you STEM.
Hmm.
Oh, so you have to do is, I mean, you're still gonna be a lot of work, right? No matter what major you in, but
Yeah.
education side, if you're in STEM, was there any course you have to take to get emergency certification? Do you have to do anything else, or it's just because you're STEM?
I
you
never,
get the certification?
I never got it, so I don't know.
And I didn't embark on that either because I ended up
Okay.
just getting a teacher's my master's in MAT.
Mhm.
But from what she's saying, I think you don't really have to do much. I think
Okay.
you, especially with the shortage in STEM teachers right now, I think that you have the degree. You can take you can get an emergency certificate that'll last like
Okay.
2 years, and if you want to continue in education, you may have to take a few classes. But some states, it depends on the state. Some states they won't even.
Yep.
You don't even have to take the classes. You can just go right in as long as you pass maybe the praxis 2, or in Georgia it's the GACE, and then
Okay.
you can teach without a teaching degree, if you will.
Got it.
Yeah.
Learn
And
something.
would you say you teach in the classroom?
I still teach now, but I've been teaching virtually for a virtual program for the last
Right.
4 years. So I've been. It's more blended. Like I go into schools across the cap. So my job, it's like 3 different hats I wear. I wear as a math teacher, then I wear as like a technology specialist, if you will, and then as a support person. So this kind of how a day I go for like 2 or 3 days a week. I'm traveling across the district to different schools, and I might pull up at like on your high school, and I would say, hey, I need to see Darnisha, Mikhail, Javion. Like I got a list of kids, right? And I'll pull them to a
These are not
computer
his
lab.
students, by the way. Those are
Well,
not real
yeah,
names of
yeah,
his students.
yeah, yeah. It's not my real
These
students.
are made up names.
And so they may be in my class or they may be in my colleagues' classes. And so depending on, I'll typically like, hey, from my understanding, this is your grade. I'll give them the grade report where they at. Oh, I see that you don't know how to upload a file. So I was teaching them like what we're doing now. Well, with the pandemic, now there should be a definitely have some more skills in terms of with technology and digital learning. But I would teach them a lot of digital learning things. And then if it was some students in my content, I was like a glorified tutor. So that could be at like Thonia High from like 9 a.m. to noon. But then I'll have lunch and then I'll travel over to, let's say, McNair Middle School. Now, middle school was very unique and my favorite part of my job because they're eighth graders who's advanced. So they were ready for algebra, but there's no one certified in the school to teach it because middle school math certifications go up to eighth grade. So they will call us and say, hey, we're going to put these 15 kids on your roster. I'm the teacher of record. And then I will go to them 2 to 3 times a week. And and again, the class is already online. Everything's online. But I go in there, I do a warm up with them. I'll give them additional assessments, especially because I know they all helping each other or cheating or something. See, do you really know it? I will.
No, you can't say that.
Oh, I can say, yeah,
Not
that's
cheating.
yeah,
Helping each other.
cheating. So I
You said
would
what
go.
you said.
So I would go in there and like just provide different opportunities of learning. So it was a blended model. It's a hybrid blended model, and so I love that because those kids they're so, for lack of words, nerdy. Like, and I just love it. Like, look at these little eighth graders. Like, and I be thinking in my head, I was not one of them. But
Yes.
you know, but it's cool to watch. And again, I'm from at that age. This is all black and brown kids, so it's like cool because I'm like where I'm from that we don't have like this type of population where all the students that's in advanced and ready for algebra in eighth grade are black and brown. So I just find it real cool. I take it real serious. Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay, I got you.
That.
Yeah, I'd love to hear
It
that
sounds
too.
a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I got a dope job, so I'm gonna talk about it a lot. So y'all get something special right here.
Okay. Get the
So-
exclusive. We get the Oprah treatment. We get that exclusive interview.
Because we
Right.
keep it cool. We keep our job cool
Yeah,
in our office.
yeah.
We got a really good job with
Right.
the county. It's a really, really dope opportunity. And it just landed in, it was online. I saw it. Now my first year teaching was in Indiana. So I did, y'all, 2 years in Indianapolis. And it's funny, the first year teaching was online. And so I started my teaching career online. And it was more for like a retention program though that they put online. And so I didn't start work though Monday through listen to these hours. So Monday through Thursday, I didn't work till 1 p.m. I started work at 1. I worked 1 to 9. In the high school that I worked at, shout out to Mid Davis High School, West Side, Indianapolis. That high school was like a mini college. Like it was 3,300 kids. They had a ninth grade wing. They had it was dope how many resources and opportunities those kids have there. But for the kids who probably got pregnant or for whatever reason, you know, they will go to night school. So I was like the night school teacher, but it was all online. So I went from 1 to 9. 1 to 3 was like office hours, and they came from 3 to 9. And then on Fridays, it was no teaching. It was just office hours during the day from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that was like my first year teaching. It was very different.
That's actually pretty cool. That is like really kind of like
It was
the college
different.
feel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm about to ask, since
So-
you was in Indianapolis, oh, sorry, go ahead, James.
Nah, you got it. Go ahead.
Okay, I was asking if you knew my line sister Jasmine. She aka from A&T.
Hey. Okay.
Yeah,
Wait. What about Jasmine though?
that's my.
Wait, Jasmine. Wait, do I know Jasmine?
She was asking if you knew
She
her.
her name was Jasmine. She
Sorry.
was the AKA who she taught in Indianapolis till like last year. So she was like 2011 to like all her information because she.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, but
I maybe after this I check her out. If
yeah.
she was there in 2000, I was there 2011. I was there. I was live for a few years, and
Okay.
so I was just right after college. You're young, and so
Mm-hmm.
all the black people stuck together there too,
I
especially if
figured
you was a HBCU grad
HBCU
or
grad. Yeah.
affiliate with any Greek letters.
He know her.
Yeah,
He
I'm
probably
Mm-hmm.
know
sure I
her.
know Jasmine.
Yeah.
We definitely know people.
True.
That's
True.
what's up.
I was gonna say, um, how did you get into what you're doing now? You know,
Okay.
and give us a little bit of background as far as, you know, young and debt free. Like
Yeah.
how did you
Tell him how
get
you
debt
took the
free,
break.
and how did that inspire you to get into to making that kind of like your own baby?
Awesomeness.
Melvin,
Thank
tell him
you.
how you because he took like a whole year off of working. Like tell him everything.
Yeah. So I got down here in 2013, and that was July 2013, and I didn't work for the first like 7 months. No, well, it was like six. It was only like 4 or 5 months, because I started back working at MLK that November. But I'm gonna bring that gap in history. I'm gonna bring back up and how significant that was in my life. But I had a platform. I was doing like motivational speaking. Like I didn't know where it was going with it. I was just doing like this Monday motivation thing, and then I spoke at a few prisons, and that really changed my life. Like because my dad's in prison. My dad been in prison most of my life, and so I'm a kid who been through. That's why I know Rhinelander. I've been up through Wisconsin prison
Uh,
systems, and so
okay.
I had that kind of changed my life. And I was like, oh, okay, like maybe I got something with speaking, or whatever. I can connect with people. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna just move to the A anyways. Indianapolis, I feel like was slow, and it's more like family oriented. I'm like, I need to get that to another place. So I came to Atlanta, and within, I remember going to a conference called the Merge Summit, and it's where they mix like media and like Christianity and religion together. It's in LA. It was really cool though. It was very intimate at the time. Matter of fact, I got pictures of um oh my God, she'll kill me. Why does she'll kill me like I know her personally? Insecure. It's a Ray. Like
Issa
she
Rae.
was,
Yeah, you
yeah.
right.
She at the time she was, of course, the awkward black girl. But the conference was so
Mhm.
intimate where you're in a room with just like 35 people, and you have everyone in front of you from Issa Rae, Brandy, you name it. It was like all kinds of people. But it was one lady from I remember like ABC or CBS or something. She was big wigs up there in type of production, and she was like, before you step out and do your thing, you need to get this together, have your stuff cleaned up. It's going to help you if you have it cleaned up. So that resonated with me. That was in August, but I still kept going.
August of
2013. So that was only within
okay.
like about 6 weeks of me moving here. I met some people, one of my frat brothers, and then his little posse, and they told me about the summit, so I went. Okay, fast forward around October, I'm spending all kinds of money on credit cards and things like that. At the time, I moved in with my boyfriend. So that was a whole nother thing because I was struggling with my sexuality,
Mhm.
my identity, trying to figure out what am I doing. Then I
Mhm.
just moved. I was, living by myself in Indianapolis. So now I'm moving in with this whole person. I'm looking like, what am I doing? And so like it was a lot. And so I was like,
It
what is
was a
this?
lot.
Big jump.
It was a huge jump. And then so then later like October, I was like, I done swiped all kinds of cards, y'all. Like I'm whatever. So I'm like, okay, I need to get to work. Like I didn't have no legit plan. I'm just like coming to Atlanta and think what. I'm just about to be a celebrity or something automatically or something. Like so
You
like
did.
and so and then like so I ended up getting a job for DeKalb County. That was an MLK experience. I worked there. I remember the date. October 25th was my first day. Because I'm gonna tell you about that date. So then later that January 2014, now we crossed over into the new year. I was on my way to work. My gas light came on. So I didn't stop. Like, the car didn't run out of gas. So my story is it's kind of dramatic when people say it. Well, like I was like, okay, the gas didn't go up, but the light came on, and I did pull off Wesley Chapel to get some gas. And the I didn't have any money. Like my debit card was insufficient funds. My credit card and no cash. So that
Damn.
a tear really came down my eye. I'm 25 with a master's degree. Like this ain't what I thought it was gonna be like. So, but that weekend I went home. I pulled up annualcreditreport.com and I wrote down every single debt that I had, like every single account that was open. Of course, I matched it with what I thought I had, and from there I was like, I created a list, a priority list. Like I'm eliminating all of this. And my mindset was, if I can eliminate this, it will open my creative mind, my fiscal life. Everything will be better. All this pressure, this financial anxiety, and things like that that I have will be gone, and I'll be able to do the things that I truly love. And so I embarked on the journey. I ended up having, that was January. I had 4 jobs that February. I was working at MLK.
Wow. Oh, you
I
had that Kevin Gates popping off.
it was it was crazy, and
He was
it's funny
killing it.
because I don't even recommend.
I
the way
remember
did
this
it because
too.
it was so extreme and kind of unhealthy. So I now,
Hmm.
when I do talk about it, I talk more of a balanced approach to it. But I was working at MLK. I will, and thankfully I had like 7 period um, planning. So I would leave like about 15, 20 minutes for the bell ring. And then I would jump on 20 and go to the west side of Atlanta. And I was at like a Kendesi school or something like that. And I would tutor fourth and fifth graders up until like from like 3:15 to about 6. I would leave there and then I would go to Sweet Lounge. You've been in Atlanta, Sweet Lounge is one of the big spots.
Hey, look, I had a good time at Sweet
Sweet
Lounge.
is
We
Sweet
know,
is
New Year's
everybody
Eve,
knows
New
Sweet
Year's
Lounge.
Eve a couple times.
So I was on the second wave of the like new hires when that first opened in 2013. I was on the second wave of new hires. So I guess I was there at the beginning, but they still just so consistent, so fun. Okay, but I will go there, and it's just open. I will go there in the evening a few times. I ended up just moving that to Saturdays and then Sunday for the day party. And I served at Sweet Lounge. I was just a busser. I was on the bottom of the totem pole, if you will. I went in there like Happy Saturday, and they looking at me like, ain't no Happy Saturday. Like I'm like, I came in there to relieve stress though. I love music. I love to dance. So that job to me was just fun. Like it was pure fun. And I was there though
Mhm.
from like 6 p.m. on a Saturday to like 4 in the morning. I mean, talking about your feet hurting, talk about a shift. But it was fun. Nothing, and I did that for 15 months straight. So I had the other tutoring job I had, I only did on Saturdays during the day in the morning. So it was super, super extreme. I would use my like tips from Sweet Lounge to really cover like lunch during the week and gas during the week. I would, I didn't travel in the hot summer without air. I didn't get my air conditioner fixed.
I remember that.
I was too like cheap to do it.
Dang.
Like I was like so extreme. I was like, I don't need the air. I just raised the window down. Nah,
I
and no
remember.
more playing. And
I
so,
remember because I went to visit him in Atlanta. We had to ride with Mario. We had to ride in the car because he was like, "My air don't work." I'm like, "I
yes,
can't deal with this."
it was so extreme. So I was kind of blogging about it, or I would start getting into the movement, like the fire movement, they call it, like kind of
Mm-hmm.
independence and
Yes.
stuff. And so I would like read different books, or of course, Think and Grow Rich and things like that. And then
I read that one too.
that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. And so I was then a frat brother. I said something like after that first year I eliminated near like 25,000 or whatever, and I was just talking about it online. He was like, he called me. He's from Indianapolis. He's big in finance though. He's like he be like a millionaire type dude, and so like, and he's on the other side, he's on investments and funds and things like that. Okay, and so he encouraged me to do this. He was like, dude, your personality, you're a teacher already. He was talking about how he handles a lot of wealthy people's funds and they get nervous about handing down their money to their kids because their kids are crazy, millennials or zennials, they sporadic, they don't handle money. He's like, you could be like help them budget and handle money. And so I was like, you think so? Like, I'm thinking in my head, like, I only thing I'm doing is budgeting. That's how I just thought of it. I was like, I'm not doing nothing but organizing things. He's like, no, people need help, and that's how
They can't do it.
young and
Yeah.
debt free really
Agree.
happened. Like I that's how it between him and it was another young lady that I met. She was showing me other people in person. She's like, you can do this. And that's how Young and Debt Free happened. And shout out to Clark, Atlanta. They was the first school to give me a paid opportunity. And when I got that check and I was like, yo, y'all giving me this for this hour? I was like, oh, okay. And so that's how Young and Debt Free happened. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I mean,
that's
it was
cool.
a time.
So
Tell them about when you used the scooters.
Oh, okay. Are we continuing? I'm sorry. If we could. So
Just
okay.
kinda
So
wrap it up.
fast forward. Okay, I'm trying to wrap it up. So that the first
Yeah.
year was just intense 4 job work, and then I chilled out a little bit, partied a little bit, and then I came back to it. And then I came back, and I'm like, I need to finish off like about $30,000 I still had because I didn't get teacher loan forgiveness. So when I started October 25th at MLK, that gap in my history from from that July when I didn't work, when I moved to Atlanta and I didn't work between that July and October, it disqualified me from teacher loan forgiveness. So teacher loan forgiveness, now to this day, I think if I would have got a really good lawyer, I think I still could have got it. But I was just, honestly, I was so
You was
sad.
over it. You was
Yeah,
over
I
it.
was, I
Yeah.
just eliminate, because at the time I had about $21,000 in student loans. I left. And I only had like 30,000 in student loans. A lot of my debt was credit cards. Like I got like 30 credit cards. So like, but the for teacher loan forgiveness, I don't want people to get it mixed up with public service loan forgiveness. Those are two different programs, and you can use both programs on top of it. Teacher loan forgiveness, and if you work in a high need school, and if you teach math or some type of STEM or special ed, you can get $17,500 eliminated if you teach 5 consecutive years. That was the word that got me. And for public service loan forgiveness, they want you to pay your payments for 10 years, but it don't even have to be consecutive. You could just add it up. So that's what they got me. And what was more hurtful was that the second time around when I was rebutting it, going back and forth with them, another office called me and said, "Oh no, you will be fine because according to the state of Georgia, you taught a full year. The language says if you teach a full year, and a full year in Georgia says if you teach 63% of the year. I taught 60. I taught when you count the days when I started October 25th, it was over 63%. So I'm like, okay, cool. So this office advanced my file. The second office, some office, I don't know where it's at. If I ever get to them, and some office compliance in DC, they came back and said, no, we're not going to accept this. And so I never got teacher loan forgiveness. So I had to pay that debt off. And so what I did was I charged e-scooters. So Atlanta was the second biggest city outside of, I think, LA for e-scooters in 2019. Like if you came to Atlanta in 2019, it was literally 12,000 scooters on the streets here because we didn't have
too many
parameters. It was too many. It was ridiculous.
Oh my God.
It was,
so many.
but the companies didn't do nothing wrong. It was the city fault. So we moved into this Midtown unit, and they were all over. They were in my garage, whatever. And so I was running one day, and I saw this guy just throwing scooters on this truck, and I'm like, I need to find another job. I didn't want to go back into the work sector of having a boss and all that. I was like, I'm gonna charge these scooters, and we lived on the first floor of a park, not the ground floor, but it was the first level of floors. It was the third floor, but it just all happened by the grace of God because. And then it happened to where our apartment complex was new. So we were some of the first people to move in. So it was quiet. So I didn't really have a lot of neighbors. I took those scooters in my Chrysler Sebring, y'all. I used to put like 20 to 21 scooters. Put my seats down, scooters
In
out
a
my
Sebring?
Yes. If y'all see people like on YouTube, and it's a story out. Like the news did a story here about my journey. So, but it was, I made over $33,000 that year charging scooters in my apartment. And that's what got me to the end of eliminating debt. Y'all, it was extreme, and I don't even know if I recommend it that way. But because it was just
he killed that shit.
Unhealthy. It was crazy. So that's how, yeah, that's my story. Thank y'all for listening.
Oh my God.
Melvin
Yeah,
had
that's,
me in the car with him getting them scooters. He's like,
You
you
know,
got
Shawty's
at the same time.
Shawty's in my house looking. She was like, "You really putting these?" I was like, "Yeah." Just line
I
them
mean, he
up. I
had
had
a
a whole
line of.
system, like a big power
It was
cord
crazy.
that shot like 30 chargers. It was a whole system. I woke up like 4:30 in the morning, popped the door open. Thankfully, the elevator was right across from me, so it's just all worked out. So I would pop the door open with my bricks, bro, and then I would have the elevator, the elevator, and it's 4:30, so no one's up.
I'm
I would
dead.
just put the scooters all in the elevator, go down to the parking garage, and start loading them in, and I would take them out. And sometimes no one would see that I have pushed in 21 scooters and charged them, and pushed them out in the apartment complex.
I'm here for the
It's
hustle.
crazy.
Man, that's
I'm here
that's
for
hustle
it.
like no other.
Yeah,
Yes.
that
Yes.
hustle
And it
I
worked.
was
mean, and
legal
then
too.
It was legal, and
yeah,
it worked out.
and
Even
he
to
had.
this day, I made money from it because the PPP loan. Like, if you did a 1099, like independent contract work like that back in 2019, you qualified for the PPP. So I just got some more money from charging scooters through the PPP process.
Oh
Like, so
snap.
I was
Okay.
like, the scooters came through again. Like,
So in the spirit of hustle, I've got two questions for you. All right. So, with everything going on with the pandemic, the first question is, what should someone do with their stimulus check,
The stimmy.
aka the stimmy? And how hard is it to remain debt free, especially in times like this?
ooh. Okay, so thank you for those questions. If there are, I'm fortunate, and I don't know if you guys are aware, I didn't lose my job, but there's a lot of big sectors that people really did lose their job, and I
Yes.
take it for granted. I live in Atlanta, we ain't closed. So I take, like, when I went to, we ain't
Right.
closed.
Yeah,
Like, so when I went
St.
to
Louis, not
Phoenix,
either. We know.
like, when I went to Phoenix back in February, I'm like, it's stuff closed here. People lost their job. Like, y'all can't. Oh, it's only this amount of people can stand around this table. I'm like, I don't understand that culture. I live in
Oh my
Atlanta,
God.
and everything, and we ain't closed. So,
Okay.
but
Oh,
people
hold on.
lost their
Missouri got
job.
more than that.
Oh, like, it's really strict. So, first, catch up on your bills. Two, I would jump on a debt if you can, jump on a debt, and then I would put into some type of investment. And I just say it could be something small. You can put just $30, but I try to preach the habit of just putting something up. Putting something up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, if you need to
Yep.
fund some type of emergency fund, I think the pandemic definitely taught us that an emergency fund or those funds are super, super important. So, four things. If you need to pay off your bills, of course, pay them. Everyone wasn't fortunate to keep their job. I would fund a little bit of my emergency fund, pay off a debt, and then I would just put a little aside to some type of form of investment.
The next
Cool.
question.
Okay.
Staying debt free.
How hard is it to remain
Oh,
debt free? Yeah.
well, I won't say it's that hard if you have those certain things I mentioned. Like, you have an emergency fund. Of course, things happen. Like, you can go outside and your car can get smashed, or things like that can happen. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even have that much liquid to where I could just go ahead and get a brand new car off the lot or whatever. But you have your emergency fund, different insurances and things like that. Please have that taken care of. Like, even like I had an uncle who passed last year, and like that made me start asking questions. To, like, I said, "Mama, you got life?" I'm thinking my mom got life insurance, right? She was so passive about, "Oh no, I don't." I'm like, "Mom, like," so like we like that really opened my eyes, and I had to get my brothers and stuff in line, and now we have insurance for our mom and stuff. So I like that because death could bring debt, and things
Yep.
like that, and so
Yep.
having your insurances, your savings and things like that funded, but then also separating your accounts. Like, I have an account. I'm trying to pull my card. I have an account, a debit card for I have just one card for grocery, because grocery is something. I have a card for brunch and turn up. I have a card that pays my bills. I have a card for emergency. I have a card for investments, and I have a card for I call short-term savings. So I have different accounts that separate what I'm doing, and that helps me stay debt free.
You
I
sound
really
like
like that.
Budgetnista.
That's my
Cause she,
girl.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast about the Budgetnista. She a black girl, and she always talking about. She just released a book actually.
Mm-hmm. She's
But
the
she talking about
Beyonce
getting
of
right with
personal
money.
finance. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And she
Oh.
literally she was telling me about all the breakdowns of all the accounts you need, something like what you kind of saying. And then she was breaking down how much you should put, like the percentages breaking down to each account. I was like, I feel like I don't make enough to do that. I feel like now, okay, so I just eliminated my consumer debt.
You shared
I
that
just
with me.
this month,
Okay.
it took me 13 payments, but I paid
Round of
off
applause.
20K,
Right.
a 20K
Mhm.
personal loan.
Mm-hmm.
But now I got a car. I owe like I actually went on a lot
You
and
need your
just
car.
signed my name and got a brand new car. So I owe money on that. But like I feel like now I'm at the point where I can start putting a certain percentage in different accounts or different avenues now that I paid off that loan. So it's like
That's good.
it's just
And
a lot.
it start little. It start like start small. Just it's to me it's about the habit. Once you get into the habit, then you increase and where you want to focus at.
How much
Yeah.
should people have in their emergency savings?
Most personal finance people talk about like 6 months, having 6 months
Yep.
of your
Yep.
living expenses in
Expenses,
there. Your
yep.
living expenses.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I got my emergency, set aside. But I really wanted to know about, like, this is my question. Like, I was hyped when I heard that you were coming on the podcast, because I'm literally like in the process of paying off all my consumer debt so I can just be in a good place when I finish my PhD. And so I want to know, like, what's this ideal ratio between saving and experiencing? Because I feel very much so like I don't make a lot of money as a graduate student. My stipend is very low, right? We make like under $40,000. And yes, I want to save and have to be aggressive, but like the extreme version you gave, like I don't want to do that, but I do still want to like pay my debt off. So like my STEMI is gone, pay the credit card off, happy about it. But like I also want to buy a ticket to Houston and like have the start of my hot girl summer down there. So like, how do I? What would you say about like sacrifice versus enjoying, especially like professional brunch, going out, that stuff gets expensive. So like, what would you suggest someone who wants to have a balanced approach to paying off debt while still experiencing their life, as a young person?
Well, some people like do percentages like 50, 30, 20, and 60, 40, and those of that nature. If you first
Can
with
you
your
explain to people who may not know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like they said like 50% usually will go like towards your like your manual living expenses and things like that. Save 20%. Another 30% can go towards like your debts, but you can also just figure out what it looks like for you. Like I always say, personal finance is personal. So I would ask you first, like, what's in your savings account? Is it at least $1,000? And we say $1,000 because it's one of those things like, oh, okay, I saved $1,000. But of course, try to get up to like that 3 month threshold of your living expenses. But also, Allante, you gotta have some fun, and that's where I that 5 year period, it was I don't recommend like how I did it because it was unhealthy. So, but put money aside to have some fun. Now, depending on just how much you have left, um, when you after you pay your bills and things like that, it just looks different. You could do a percentage, or you could say, hey, you know what? If I get paid, let me pay myself 10%. I know people always say that. Let me give myself 10 to 20%. Um, I guess so. That's how I would go with that. I hope that is for me. It was more. I give myself 20% at the end of the month. To go buy myself something new because I wasn't buying myself new. I was thrift storing everything
He was
out.
shopping at thrift stores.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, which was cool. But now
Yeah.
it's like, dang, let me get a new shirt. Like,
Right.
and quite frankly, I didn't even get into that mentality to a year after I paid off debt. Last summer, for my birthday, I wouldn't buy myself this $40 shirt, right? It was a nice shirt at Dillard's. And it went to then where I was like, gosh, that debt free journey really got my mind in this thing, in this box. And I said, treat yourself, MJ. It's okay. So
I remember because you planned your birthday party.
yes. And so I just encourage you to put money in each bucket.
Okay.
Okay. And whatever you have left remaining for your trap, like if you're gonna go to Houston, right? You trying to y'all got something planned for Houston, so you
Yes.
could have started saving for that a whole year ago. So my
Ooh.
whole 2021
I ain't-
budget,
I just
like,
decided like 3 weeks ago that I'm
okay,
gonna
so
go.
see, okay, so
Wait, when you coming?
Oh yeah, I was
Well,
gonna tell you
I'll ask
then.
you that.
I'm coming. Oh right. I don't know who be listening, but I'm coming down there.
okay,
Okay,
But that's why you
but
cool.
can make like you can just have like a travel budget every month that you put
that's
For sure.
money in,
that's my short
and
term
Absolutely.
then
savings that I
yep,
mentioned. Yep, that's what
Yeah.
I
yep.
that's the short term. And once it's depleted, it's depleted. Cause
Mm.
I know when like okay, what's gonna happen a wedding this year?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we do a line trip every year. Okay, I go home for the fourth every year. So like I will put money each time I get paid in that short term savings. Yeah, I call it the
Okay.
fund account, my event fund account. So I
Yeah.
know that's happening. That's where the money comes from. That's what I'm
Okay.
traveling with. And that helps too if you got nieces and nephews and little people who always ask you for money because they think you the rich auntie or something when you get home.
Yeah.
That also helps you, like, because you like, look, this the money I got in here, and this it. That's how I be now, because I used to milk me.
I feel it. I
That's
feel
fair.
it. I'm not even in that portion. I don't even have any nieces or nephews or anything like that yet.
They get
So, I,
expensive,
so
man.
yeah, I don't even. I'm not even there yet. But I guess it's gonna happen eventually.
You probably
Um,
get kids,
so
so
hey, look, I got a dog. That's
It's,
enough for
that's an
right now.
expense.
Right. For real.
it
Yep.
is.
So if you could, what are like 3 tips that you have for aspiring entrepreneurs? 3 things that you can give to people, or you can tell people. This is what I would tell you about. This is what I mainly take from my entrepreneurship route, or your debt free route. Just 3 things that you can say. Okay, these things is what I would recommend doing. And kind of take it how you will.
Yeah. So on an entrepreneur perspective, get your personal finances right because, like, there's of course the hustle of like this is probably is one of the greatest times, if I could say that, to do something with the access that we have to so many to the world. But I think that I'm gonna say this. I love that I have opportunities to access more finances for my business because my credit is good, because my debt is gone. I have business credit cards now, and I have access to business funds that some of my colleagues that I talk to don't because their personal finances are so jacked up. So get your personal stuff together because
Hmm.
it does play a way in some cases with financing. I'm not a business finance guru at all, but and there's probably avenues of finances I'm missing, but I know that when it comes to getting some of my business credit cards, that they did look at what my personal finances look like in order to get it. So that was a
Okay.
big advantage. Also, in terms of the debt free, if I'm gonna jump back between the two,
Hmm.
start investing now. Like I think I didn't. I was on the other side of finance and where I was just trying to get the budgets and all that taken care of and cash flow. But I didn't understand what
Right.
invest. The only thing I knew about investment, of course, you hear about the stock market, and we've hearing about it more now than anything. Um,
Hmm.
but like I didn't know what that really was exactly, and I just thought like, well, they take money out of my account for my retirement, and then I got a Roth IRA. I thought, I was doing that. So now I'm learning the other side, and on like I like to focus on like dividend stocks, or they call like the aristocrat
Yep.
dividends and stuff like that. So like
Yeah.
learn that, and don't feel so pressured though about it. I just encourage you to learn one segment of it, like and start some type of investment. And again, it could be just getting a Roth IRA, or you learning how to save, or you're matching what your company. If your company offers a match them. Like that's free money.
Yes,
Right.
So
it's so many
like
people who don't do that. Yeah.
yes, and so
Yep.
just do that now, and then on the entrepreneurship side, as well. I mean, it's so cliche, but just do it after you get all that together, your personal finances together. Do it, and you're going to fail, 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 and that's going to be the best lessons. I didn't. With this brand, I wasn't sure where I was going, especially last year with it. And but through those experiences, I'm here, and I love where I'm at right now. I got some heat about to drop, y'all. Real soon.
Oh, I can't wait.
And so, but I love it. But that was through failure and experiences, and there's money to be made. There's a lot of money out here. And I'm like, yo, I watch these cranes go up, and I'm like, like, nah, I can't go down like that. And so, I can't.
Melvin, you a hustler though.
Gotta get my money. Yeah, that's what my daddy taught me. I guess if I can get his drug dealing situation, take some positive from that. Was that
me and my best friend Jazz always say, if you can run a drug trade, you can run a business. You ain't nothing but an entrepreneur. We always say that.
Mm-hmm. So I encourage though to also find a mentor. That's a mentor. Ooh. I think that's something that I still honestly lack. I have found a few people who I the building of my personal finance curriculum was through some mentors and stuff like that. But if you can find a really good mentor, please find one on your entrepreneurship journey. And again, you're online. There's different mastermind groups and people on there. Like, take advantage of those online platforms. So I hope that I got through.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So to me, I mean, what I take from that is, get your personal finances together, invest or learn about something to invest in. I like what you said about the dividend stocks, because I'm building my portfolio around that as well. And real estate investment trusts are my favorite dividend stocks. REITs. And then the third one you pointed out was just start. And I take that as investing in yourself, because a lot of people don't realize that's a form of investment. Like, if you want to start a business and you need some equipment, or you need, like if you want to start a pressure washing business or something, invest in that equipment, because that can take you further. Your return on investment will be higher than just using that on something, blowing money on drinks at the bar or something like that. Like, you got to start somewhere.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the bonus was mentorship.
My bad. Mentorship. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, MJ, we thank you for joining us on this episode. We really appreciate it. It was great talking with you. Thanks for your knowledge and sharing your stories, because this definitely will go further and will help a lot of people, because you're not the first, and definitely probably won't be the last. So I'm sure your story will get a lot of people through hard times, and we really appreciate you for coming on.
Thank y'all for having me. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Much love, fam.
Yep.
Say where to reach you.
Oh, sure. Yep. Yeah, you can reach me at Young and Debt Free ATL, or visit my website younganddebtfree.com. Young and Debt Free ATL on Instagram, so I'm at most of the time, or younganddebtfree.com.
Hey,
yes, I just followed you.
All right, thank you.
Yep, and I already follow you, but I guess we could throw out the rest of our social media handles if you want to. I can go first. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, my personal one was King_Santiago25. You can catch this podcast at full_steam_ahead, and you can catch Jalen's Entertainment at Jalen's_ENT. So that's all my handles.
I'm just at drsharh on Instagram. Actually, think about making a more professional Instagram, but it's Dr. Shar H.
You can do whatever you want, Dr. Shar. You can find me on Instagram. It's blkingradschool, BLKIN grad school.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
Winners.